Hi there, my name's Declan, and I'm a member of the growth team here at Codebots. In this video, I want to explore some of the reasons we see so many software failures, particularly as technology is becoming an increasingly prominent part of our daily lives. To do so, I'll be interviewing Liam Snelling, who is the Managing Director at Digital Detox, a digital design and development agency based here in London. We'll be discussing some of the mistakes we've seen from examples in the past, what we can be on the lookout for in the future, and in general, the most important critical success factors that are relevant to any software project. So Liam, I suppose the first thing I'd like to hear about is more broadly around your own past experience of either being involved in or even directly affected by some software project failure. Do you have much light that you can shed on this?
Yeah, I think for me it's all around expectations. I can't think of a project off the top of my head where it's actually been the software's fault, if you know what I mean. It's normally around expectations and managing expectations of what's going to come out of the project versus what people want out of the project. That for me is the main reason why software projects are perceived to fail. Because at the end of the day, you can do almost anything with software given the right amount of time or the right amount of expertise or the right amount of budget.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a project just recently that was delayed for go live by 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on an 8-month project, we had a 2-month delay. But the main reason behind that was because the scope wasn't controlled enough. And we had an open-ended scope with our client, and we acknowledged that, and it turned out to be too open-ended. And then we ended up being late, and then we had to have a conversation. But once we delivered it, the site is now live, it's operational, and it's relatively stable and bug-free. So it's not the software's fault; it's more around expectations about what we would deliver in the project. That's my understanding. That's where been most of my, I guess, our failures as a company have gone in the past, is where we've just had a misalignment in the expectation versus what we can do. Estimation's obviously key in a software project, and nobody's very good at it. Nobody can really estimate a software project very well, and we've been involved in projects. Every time we come out of a project, we normally in the retrospective, we have something around estimation being better. Yeah. But the more time you put in, the better estimates you get out of it. But we were involved in a really large program of work last year, which was significantly late at significant cost to the client. We were kind of on the team as opposed to leading the project. It was an internal project, and again, that was like a sizing issue. So again, nothing to do with the software. It was a sizing issue around how much could be done in the timescales and fully scoping out what needed to be happened in order for the security of everything to go live.
So just on the same topic as you mentioned it, do you find retrospectives then to be an important tool when it comes to future-proofing other projects?
Despite what we attempt, I mean, we have a really consistent and sort of stable project process on our side to match the process. Every project's different, every client's different, every expectation's different, and every piece of software we write is different. So the process has to be really dynamic, and you need to learn as you go. And we have retrospectives at the end of every sprint. So every 2 weeks we sit down and work out what went well, what didn't go well, and that agile method allows you to tweak and enhance your process for maximum delivery.
Okay, interesting. So the next thing I was interested in asking you related to your experience is, do you find that there are certain conditions that might exist within a business which, whilst they aren't necessarily directly related to a software project, say culturally or operationally, can still have a significant impact on its success?
I think if you have a technology-led business versus a marketing-led business, that can have a big impact on a project success. It's one of the key things that we try and understand at the start is who's paying for this work. Is it a sales and marketing initiative to drive up revenue for the company? And therefore, they need to see there's a different kind of value that you need to achieve on a project to make it successful versus a technology-enabled project, which is going to be all about, streamlining and bringing things into a modern era and making things more stable and reducing the amount of downtime. So So it's really important to understand before you start, what are the main drivers? What's the company your client trying to get out of this? Is it technology led? Is it sales and marketing led? Could it be, something around, I don't know, could it be more of a content led project, just trying to update content and make it more informative, get people engaging with content? They're all the questions we would ask at the start of the project, which would then allow us to tailor the expectations of what we're going to deliver, and therefore how we measure against those expectations, so that we can quite easily demonstrate, based on pre-agreed acceptance criteria, that we've delivered value and we've delivered success.
So, related back to everything you've mentioned today, do you think that there are ways in which a business can best manage the fallout of a failed software project?
I think communications here is key. So if we bring in support into a project, we try and build up good relationships with people. When the things are going well, we try and build up really good relationships with people. Sure. Have a clear and open and transparent way of reporting. We have clear and open and transparent way of reporting risks and issues and bringing into people's attention. We have the daily stand-ups, which sometimes they're over really quickly because there's not much to say, and sometimes they take a long time because people have got quite a lot on their plate. The client and the whoever's building the software and the person who wants to use the software should be on the same call, so everybody understands the context with which the project's trying to deliver. That is the best way to set you up for things that maybe don't go so well later on down the line. If there's a fallout, if everybody's part of the same conversation, everyone's part of the same team, then there's empathy and there's understanding, but more importantly, there's people around who can help fix blockers as they come up, so things don't get out of kilter and there's no communications breakdown and people know exactly what the situation is in the project. And to be honest, if people want to stop the project, they get an early sight of it rather than continuing being told things are on track when things aren't on track. So yeah, we try and be as open and honest with our customers as much as we can, and not afraid to say no, that's not possible, or we'll say, well, we'll give it a go and then feedback, and then be quite quick if there's a problem on delivery.
I hope you found some of the insights explored in today's video useful around the topic of software project failures, as building successful and robust systems has never been more important than it is today. Thank you.